In this video, we're going to cover how to tune the guitar. And if I'm playing Captain Obvious, if it's not in tune, it's not going to sound right. Tuning just means that we want each string to sound a certain way before we start playing. And for that, we're going to use a clip-on multi-instrument tuner, like this Boss TU-02, because tuners like these, they're super common and they're cheap. If you have one of the Snark tuners, like I mentioned in the first course video, perfect. It works just like the Boss tuner, except a little less complicated, and you'll see why later in this video. There are a lot of different tuners out there, but most do the same basic function. So even if you don't have one like this, you should still be able to follow along. Also, any average electric or acoustic guitar is going to work with a tuner like this. If you don't have a tuner and you're looking for one, you could check out the gear page on my website, Amazon, or Guitar Center. And they'll be about $15 to $30 typically, usually depending on the brand.